We're going tomorrow, Mom. I've sold your beach house. Sarah's words cut through the stillness of the kitchen like a knife. The morning sun spilled through the window, bathing everything in a golden glow, but nothing could soften the heaviness of that sentence. If this story touched you, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Evelyn turned slowly from the window, where she had been watching the waves crash against the shore, her weathered hands clutching the edge of her chair. Her eyes widened, searching her daughter's face for some sign that this was a joke. But Sarah didn't flinch. "You did what?" Evelyn asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sarah swallowed hard. "We can't keep it anymore, Mom. The repairs are too expensive, and we need the money. The papers are signed. Tomorrow we hand over the keys." The silence that followed was heavier than words. Evelyn's gaze shifted past Sarah, landing on the view outside, the stretch of sand that had been her sanctuary for more than 4 decades. That house wasn't just walls and windows. It was the story of her life. It was where she'd fallen in love with Sarah's father, where she'd brought her baby daughter home from the hospital, where birthdays, anniversaries, and Sunday dinners had unfolded with laughter and tears. "You had no right," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "This house is a part of us. It's not just mine, it's ours." But Sarah didn't answer. She turned her gaze away, guilt heavy in her chest. The truth was, this wasn't a decision she'd made lightly. Months of overdue bills, her husband's lost job, and 2 growing children had left her desperate. Selling the house had felt like the only solution. And yet, there was something more, something she hadn't told her mother. Years ago, when Sarah had been cleaning the attic, she'd stumbled upon an old trunk buried under dusty quilts. Inside were dozens of yellowed letters tied neatly with a faded ribbon. They weren't from her father. They were from a man named James. The letters spoke of dreams, promises, and a plan to build a life together by the sea. And tucked among them was a deed, one that suggested the house might have once belonged, at least in part, to that man. Sarah had never confronted her mother about it, but the discovery had lingered in the back of her mind ever since. That night, Evelyn sat silently by the window long after Sarah had gone to bed. The thought of losing the house hurt deeply, but it wasn't just about the building. It was about the memories buried within it, memories of a love she had never spoken of. When the house grew dark and still, she climbed the narrow staircase to the attic and lifted the lid of the old trunk. Her fingers trembled as she traced the letters, her heart aching with memories she had spent a lifetime trying to forget. The next morning, Sarah packed the car. The buyer was coming in the afternoon. Suitcases lined the hallway, the air heavy with finality. "Come on, Mom," she said gently. "It's time." But Evelyn didn't move. She stood in the doorway, her frail figure outlined by the morning light. "You think this house is about money," she said softly. "But it's not. It's where I dreamed of a life I never had. It's where I buried pieces of myself I thought were gone." Sarah froze. "What do you mean?" Evelyn's gaze drifted toward the attic window. "There's a story you don't know, Sarah. A story I thought I'd take with me." Back inside, Evelyn opened the trunk and showed her daughter the letters. "These were from James," she said quietly. "Before I met your father, he was the man I planned to marry. We were going to build a house here, by the water. But life had other plans. He went away, and we never saw each other again. I kept these letters because this place was meant to be ours, and even though he's gone, a part of me has always stayed here with him." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Suddenly, the beach house wasn't just a building. It was her mother's past, her heartbreak, her story. It was more than a family home. It was the place where Evelyn's heart had lived long before Sarah was born. "I didn't know," Sarah whispered, tears in her eyes. "Now you do," Evelyn said gently. "And even if we leave tomorrow, the stories don't leave with the walls. They live inside us." The sale went through as planned. The papers were signed, the keys exchanged. As Sarah and Evelyn drove away, neither of them spoke for a long time. Evelyn clutched the bundle of letters in her lap, her eyes no longer full of sorrow but of quiet acceptance. As the beach house grew smaller in the rearview mirror, Sarah realized something she hadn't understood before. Letting go of a place doesn't mean losing the past. The memories, the love, the pieces of who we are, they don't stay behind. They come with us, woven into the fabric of who we become. If this story touched you, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And though the house was gone, its stories would live on. In Evelyn's heart, in Sarah's memory, and in the generations yet to come.